कृष्णा। हरे कृष्णा। हरे कृष्णा। जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। किशोर किशोरी की जय। जगन्नाथ जय। लॉर्ड गोविंद। हरे कृष्ण। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनन्दन व्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानन्दन व्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरावनचारी। यमुना तीरावनचारी। जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। गौर प्रेमानंदे। जय ओम विष्णुपाद बृहस्पतिचार्य अष्टो श्री श्रीमद वैष्णव भक्तिदान स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद बृहस्पतिचार्य अष्टो श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती महाराज की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्रीमद् भागवत पुराण की जय। समवेत भक्तवृंद की जय। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled duties, all glories to the assembled duties, all glories to the assembled duties, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya। Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki। Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 72. The title is Slaying of the Demon Jarasandha. Verse Canto 10, Chapter 72, verse 15, 16, and 17. Sutva ajitam jarasandam Shrutva ajitam jarasandam Nipate dhyayata hari Nipate dhyayatyo hari Aha upayam tam eva adhyam Aha upayam tam eva adhyam Uddhavayam uvachaha Uddhavayam uvachaha Shrutva ajitam jarasandam Nripate dhyayate hari Aha upayam tam eva adhyam Uddhavayam uvachaha। Hare Krishna। Shrutva ajitam jarasandam Nipate dhyayato hari Ahaupayam tam eva adhyam Uddhavayam uvachaha Shrutva ajitam jarasandam Nripate dhyayato hari Ahaupayam tam eva Shrutva ajitam jarasandam Nripate dhyayato hari Ahaupayam tam eva adhyam Uddhavayam uvachaha Shrutva ajitam jarasandam Nripate dhyayato hari Ahaupayam tam eva adhyam Uddhavayam uvachaha Shrutva ajitam jarasandam Nripate dhyayato hari Ahaupayam tam eva adhyam Uddhavayam uvachaha। Hare Krishna। What word meaning? Srutva, hearing. Ajam, ajitam, unconquered. Jarasandam, Jarasandha. Nripate, the king. Dhyayata, as he pondered. Hari, Lord Krishna. Aha, told. Upayam, the means. Tam, to him. Eva, indeed. Adhya, the original person. Uddhava, Uddhava. Yam, which. Vachaha, had spoken. Translation. When King Yudhishthira heard that Jasandha remained undefeated, he set to pondering, and the primeval Lord Hari told him the means Uddhava had described for defeating Jasandha. Text 16. Bhimasena Arjuna Krishna Brahma Lingadharastraya Jagmur Girivrajam Tata Brihadhrata Sato Yatam. Thus Bhimasena, Arjuna, and Krishna disguised themselves as Brahmanas and went to Girivraja. My dear king, where the son of Brihadratha was to be found. Text 17. Te ते गत्वा इत्थया वेदयं गृहेषु गृहमेदिनं ब्रह्मण्यं सन्न्यासचारं लिंगिना राजन्ये ब्रह्मलिंगिना. Disguised as Brahmanas, the royal warriors approached Jarasandha at home during the appointed hour for receiving guests. They submitted their entreaty to that dutiful householder, who was especially respectful to the Brahminical class. Srila Prabhupada writes, King Jarasandha was a very dutiful householder, and he had great respect for the Brahmanas. He was a great fighter, a Kshatriya king, but he was never neglectful of the Vedic injunctions. According to Vedic injunctions, the Brahmanas are considered to be the spiritual master of all other castes. Lord Krishna, Arjuna, and Bhimasena were actually Kshatriyas, but they themselves dressed themselves as Brahmanas. And at the time when King Jasandha was to give charity to the Brahmanas and receive them as guests, they approached him. मम ज्ञानतिमृन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं सजीवं साद्वैतं सवधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदासहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च. हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपीश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते. तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुत देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पवनेभ्यो वैष्णुभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. The title is The Slaying of the Demon Jarasandha. So beautiful. Here it says, when King, text 15 says, when King Yudhishthira heard that Jarasandha remained undefeated, he set to pondering, and then the primal Lord Hari told him the means Uddhava had described for defeating Jarasandha. So King Yudhishthira heard that Jarasandha could not be defeated. Then Krishna turned to Yudhishthira and told the means how Uddhava had described how to defeat Jarasandha. Then thus Bhimasena, Arjuna and Krishna dispute themselves as Brahmanas and went to Giriraj, my dear king, where the son of Brihadra was to be found. Discussed as the Brahmanas, the royal warriors approached Jarasandha at home during the appointed hour for receiving guests. They submitted their entreaty to that dutiful householder was especially respectful to the Brahmanical class. So Krishna, Arjuna, and Bhima discussed themselves as Brahmanas. They approached Jarasandha, and Jarasandha was very respectable to his guest and the Brahmanical class. He offered his respects. Srila Prabhupada writes, King Jasandha, he was a very dutiful householder. And he had a great respect for the Brahmanas. He was a great fighter, a Kshatriya king, but he was never neglectful of the Vedic injunction. According to Vedic injunctions, the Brahmanas are considered to be the spiritual master of all other castes. Lord Krishna, Arjuna, and Bhimasana were actually Kshatriyas, but they dressed themselves as Brahmanas. And at that time, when King Jasandha was to give charity to the Brahmanas and receive them as guests, they approached him. Hare Krishna. Namo Brahman Devaya, Go Brahmanayataya, Jagaditaya, Krishnaya, Govindaya, Namo Namo. So Jasandha also is following the Vedic injunctions like offering respects to the Brahmanas and giving charity as a householder. The Bhagavad Gita explained that three things one has to perform: yajna, dana, tapasya. One should not give up this. It purifies great souls also. Sacrifice. And Kali Yuga especially, the householders should come together and chant the holy name Sankirtan. Or if they have means, they can distribute prasadam. So this Hare Nama hai keval. Kalo nasti vanasti vagati anipda. Because in this age, even performing charity also is, people have lost their good. It's Sukruti, some like that. Some word is used Sanskriti. So people are not interested to give charities to a right place in passion, ignorance. Like if you go to a bar, then the barman speaks very nicely, he's singing of their welfare, but actually he's giving him wine like that. So Kali Yuga is the chanting of the holy name. But these three things one should not give up: yajna, dana, and tapasya. One should perform austerities. One should give charity. There's charity in mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. So this story about slaying of the demon Jarasandha. So in these three verses, Yudhishthira Maharaj is turning to Lord Krishna, and Krishna is revealing what Uddhava had said, Uddhava's advice, how to kill Jasandha. And the uh, so Krishna is turning to Yudhishthira Maharaj, and that Bhima only can kill Jarasandha. So they dispute themselves as Brahmanas, and they approach Jarasandha. And Jarasandha is following the Vedic. He is very dutiful as a householder, though he is a demon, but he is very favorable to the Brahminical class of people. Hare Krishna. So this slaying of the demon Jarasandha. So we can go to revise of this review of this chapter. How first it explained Krishna, King Yudhishthira Maharaj, Lord Krishna addressed Yudhishthira Maharaj. And here Krishna arranged Bhimasena to defeat Jasandha. Yeah, Lord Krishna heard Yudhishthira Maharaj. So Lord Krishna heard Yudhishthira Maharaj, and then Krishna arranged Bhima to defeat Jasandha. So King Yudhishthira Maharaj, he want to perform a Rajasriya sacrifice, which is the king of all sacrifice. He want to please the Lord Krishna. He want to show uh, how this sacrifice, that those people who are uninterested in devotional service, he want to show the power of the devotees, those who are uninterested in devotional service, and the inferiority of the non-devotees. And also they will be able to see the lotus feet of the Lord Krishna. So three things here it says, like uh, those who are uninterested in devotional service, Yudhishthira Maharaj want to show how the power of the devotees, and those who are uninterested in devotional service. Actually, those who are uninterested, he want to show the power of devotees and the weakness of the non-devotees, means the superiority of the devotees and the inferiority of the non-devotees. And further, he want to they will, and also they will be able to see the lotus feet of the Lord. So the first is the slaying of the demon. Just under the title is, say, Bhagavad Gita 16th chapter explains about divine qualities and the demonic qualities. The demonic qualities are unfavorable. Divine qualities are favorable for devotional service. To find a pure devotee is very rare. And if we approach a pure devotee, then our life is success. Very. And to approach a pure devotee is very, very rare, pure devotee. Uh, and just in Kali Yuga. But if we have intense desire to go back to Godhead, Krishna arranges for, because Krishna is within our heart as super soul. He guides one who has unflinching faith to a pure representative of God. Everything is revealed to him. Unflinching faith. One should have Yashya Devi Parabhaktir. So, so the demons, the divine qualities, 16th chapter Bhagavad Gita is explained. Divine qualities are fearlessness, purification of existence, cultivation of knowledge, austerity, charity, self-control, and purification of existence and study of the Vedas. So these are divine qualities. The Brahmanas, actually Brahmana means he's very learned in the Vedic knowledge, and he is to teach others to become Brahmanas. The Brahmanas are meant to train other. So they had this nice 9 days Chaitanya Charitamrita reading. Actually, yeah, it's we had to. So that why there should be head in the society. Otherwise, if the head is not there, then the society won't function properly. The Brahmanas are considered very highly intellectual class of people who can guide the society. If there is no head only, a head is only not functioning properly, how can the society function properly? Everything will be a chaos. Then everybody will do their own this. It's very important. He should show by his example, like that. It's knowledge. So Brahmana also should know, should by his example, like that. He should very be knowledgeable, and he should be very strict in following the principles of Vedic instructions. He should develop divine qualities, fearlessness, purification of fearlessness. Actually, a sannyasi, he is fearless, because he is dependent on the Supreme Lord, because the Lord is within everyone's heart as a super soul. He is a well-wishing friend of everybody. So we can worship the Lord as a super soul within our heart. He comes, is an expansion of the Lord, is an expansion of the Lord. Super soul is, he is always with us. Like that, there are two birds. One bird is eating the fruits of the tree, that's the living entity, and one is watching, that's the super soul. So the living entities are enjoying the results of their acts, sometimes sweet or bitter, but they are so much absorbed in this, they forget the super soul, the other bird who is watching us. That's the super soul. But somehow or other we turn to him, we come free from all miseries. So in whatever circumstance we are, we should always remember that super soul is with us every time. He is our well-wisher. Uh, so there's nothing to fear that. Krishna Bhakti Kele Sarva Karma Krit Hoy. We are just performing devotional service. All our, like following the principles of religion, all our material necessity also will be fulfilled like that. Yeah, so it's very important to hear Shravanam Kirtanam. That's most important in nine process of devotional service. In whatever ashram we are in Brahman, there's different varnas, this dharmas, jnani, yogi, karmi, and bhakti. Bhakti is the topmost. Because karmi is also tinged with material contamination. Jnani also is not so pure like that. But jnani also very rare can come to bhakti also. But ultimately, karmi jnani should come to the standard of bhakti. Bhakti is the topmost. Anything we do, bhakti should be added. And bhakti, without bhakti, whatever, if there's no bhakti, then everything is shrama eva kevalam. That's very important. Shravanam kirtanam is recommended in the scriptures, first canto, 2 18 to 21. That otherwise, all our activities are waste. Even if a brahmana is born in a brahmani family, but he has no qualification of a devotee is better than a brahmana who is not devoted to the Lord. And he may have the all Brahminical qualification, but he's not a devotee of Krishna. So to be born in a Brahminical family also is pious like that. But it's also mentioned in Kali Yuga, the demons will be born in a the leftover demons will be born in a Brahminical family also. I heard it like that. That's something quoted. So it's like very rare. Bhagavad Gita also in Srila Prabhupada said in the purport, there is very rare, like one who is born in a family of a very highly Vaishnava means he is above Brahmana. He has all the Brahminical qualities also. So to be born in a pure devotee's house, especially Srila Prabhupada says, Srila Prabhupada's spiritual masters, they say we are very fortunate to be born in a house of a devotee. From where? From childhood, we got this training of spiritual knowledge. So it's very beneficial. It's also said, the great Acharya says that even if one is born as a worm, that he be born, Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings that, I be born in a family of devotees where I can take to spiritual. But in whatever stage of life one takes to Krishna consciousness, it's all beneficial. In this endeavor, there is no loss. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, either it's a is situated in whatever, yeah, there is a man, woman, whatever it is, like Kshatriya, Vaishya. I, that's secondary. The most important is bhakti. One should perform devotional service. Like Arjuna was hesitating to fight. He was saying, "My family, my teachers, my relatives, and so and so." But then finally, he surrendered to Krishna. So the essence is to surrender to Krishna. Sarvadharman parityajya mam ekam sharana. So that's all secondary. So what is in position or whatever in ashram is. The first most important is to be to take to devotion. Bhaktya mam abhijananti. Only by devotion one can understand Krishna. So this slaying of the demon Jarasandha. So Jarasandha was a demon, but he was very charitable to the brahmanas as a householders. Then one has to invite guests to his house, and he should feed them. And especially in this age, an householder can elevate himself just by performing kirtan like that, sankirtan, chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this is the most important in this age of Kali Yuga, the holy name of the Lord. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu use most the Jivere Daya, Vaishnavere Seva, Jivere Daya, Vaishnavere Seva, Name Ruchi. The first thing is Name Ruchi, Jivere Daya, Vaishnavere Seva. That's the essence like that. This whole Srila Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 6 Ashtakam, 8 verses is ultimately coming to this whole Krishna conscious based on that Chetu Darpanam Arjanam Bhava Mahadava Agni Nirvapanam Sriya Kairava Chandrika Vitanam Vidyavadu Jivanam. This is a prime benediction for humanity at large in this age. This Sankirtan movement is a prime benediction. Krishna has invested all his potency in this holy Nam Namakari Bauta Nija Sarva Shakti. Is non different from Krishna. Trinadapishina. One should chant the holy name of Lord in a humble state of mind. So that's in a conditioned stage, but it's a very high stage because this whole essence is one has to perform pure devotional service, come to the stage of pure devotional service. No motive, no personal motive, only everything should be performed for the pleasure of Krishna. But it's also said, Akama sarva kama va moksha kama udarina tivrina bhakti yogina. Either one is in, with full of desire, material desire, or is without any material desire. He should tivrina, he should very with determination perform devotional service. So the essence is one should perform bhakti. That's pure bhakti. Come to the stage of pure bhakti, and pure bhakti. Actually, bhakti means pure devotional service. Actually, devotee means pure devotee. Actually, the word devotee means. So we are sadhana. We are practicing Krishna consciousness. So one should come to the stage. Actually, devotee word actually means. So there are different stages of bhakti, the Kanishta, Madhyam, and Uttam Adhikari, like that. So the slaying of the demon Jasanda is says here. Hare Krishna. Demon. So the demons, they are always engaged in sinful activities. They do not know what is to be done and what not to be done. Uh, they have no cleanliness like that. So there's two types of cleanliness: external cleanliness by taking a bath nicely, keeping externally clean, keeping all the nine gates clean with water, and purifying. That's water is pure. And like we heard, Lord Krishna was performing these activities, daily activities. He used to get up early in the morning, take a bath, uh, and touch all auspicious items, offer respect to the Brahmanas, demigods, worship to the sun god. So actually, Krishna was performing a duty as a householder, but he showing the example like worshipping the cows, the Brahmanas, giving charity, um, demigods like that. Seeing the mirror, touching the ghee, like the seeing the ghee like that. So very nice. Lord Krishna's daily activities were as when he performed the role as a king in Dwarka. So here the slaying of the demon Jarasandha, demon and divine qualities, chapter 16 explains about that uh, purification of existence, cultivation of knowledge, austerity, charity. Austerity is the wealth of the Brahmanas. Tapo Divyam. In this Kali Yuga, the austerity is to follow these four principles and chanting of Hare Krishna. As like we heard about Jagai Madai. Jagai Madai was this Chaitanya Charitamrita. Jagai Madai, they were very sinful. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, chant Hare Krishna and give up sinful activities like that. So one should become free from sinful activities. One should free from the 10 offenses to progress in spiritual life like that. So the slaying of so king and so then Krishna Yudhishthira Maharaj, we can see here now. Yudhishthira addressed Lord Krishna as he sat in the royal. He says, I want to perform this Raja. In this sacrifice, people uninterested in your devotional service will able to see your first-hand superiority of your devotees and inferiority of non-devotees. They will also able to see your lotus feet. So one should be attached. It says one should be attached to the lotus feet of the Lord. One should be the power of devotional bhakti is so powerful. So we can here is a good example that Krishna is hearing from Yudhishthira Maharaj, and then Krishna is saying to Bhimasena to defeat Jasanda, and Yudhishthira Maharaj is addressing Lord Krishna in the royal assembly that he want to perform this Rajasuya sacrifice, which is the king of all sacrifice. uh, because people so an unintentional devotees able to see your first hand superiority of your devotees and the inferiority of your non-devotees. They will able to see your lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada also says like the Vaishnavas, never seen a Vaishnava like Hanuman. Uh, they are not like cowards, when you need uh, to fight. So we can see Hanuman example. He was so powerful. He burnt the whole Lanka. He destroyed the palace of Ravana. Ravana was so powerful as a demon. Similarly, Jasanda is being killed by Bhima here. Jasanda, actually Kamsa had two wives, Asti and Prapti. And they were, after Kamsa was killed by Krishna, um, both the sisters became widow. So they were brother. Their brother was Jasanda. So generally, according to Vedic system, a woman should always be given protection. In a childhood, her parents should be taken care. In grown up, her husband should take care. In old age, children should take care. So this is nature's arrangement like that. So always protection. So this Asti and Prapti, they were both sister of Jasanda, and they had no children. So they went back to their father Jasanda. And Jasanda, when he heard the news that Krishna had killed Kamsa, he became very furious. In his anger, he told that he will rid of all the Yadus on from this earth planet. So he arranged from a very huge army of 13 phalanxes, and he went attack Krishna Dwarka. He and almost of all the times he used to attack Dwarka. Krishna and Balram arranged for a celestial weapons from the higher planets, and they defeated Jasanda's army. And Jasanda was very morose, and he went back again to his kingdom. Though Jasanda was very powerful with his army, he was always defeated. But 17 times he was defeated. But his close associates told him that don't worry, this time we will gather more army and we'll fight again with great determination. So have courage. Don't lose courage. So Jasanda prepared himself again and went to attack Krishna. But Krishna along with Balram used to defeat all the soldiers and all the army, all the animals. They were lying as like an ocean, like a river, all over like that. Their hairs, the animals, they all were lying on the ocean like that. So Lord Krishna, so Lord, then when Yudhishthira Maharaj told about told Krishna that he want to perform a Rajashri sacrifice, then Yudhishthira Maharaj told, your scheme is very extolled, very this will bring fame to you by performing this Rajashri sacrifice. Not only you will be your fame will spread throughout the universe. All living beings should desire to perform this sacrifice. All living should desire that the sacrifice be performed. And to make this sacrifice, you must first defeat all the kings from all direction. So Yudhishthira Maharaj arranged his brothers. He sent his brothers in all directions, all the four directions, and Lord Krishna, according to the advice of Uddhava, he told how Jasanta can be killed like that. So when they went all directions, all the brothers they conquered all over, and they brought the necessary paraphernalia for the Rajasuya sacrifice, all the wealth and whatever that required for the Rajasuya sacrifice. But they could not defeat Jasanta. So they came and informed Yudhishthira Maharaj. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj told, asked, then Krishna told, according to Uddhava, how Jasanta can be killed like that. So Bhima, he cannot be killed along with his army. So only Bhima can kill him. So Bhima, Arjuna, and Krishna, they dressed themselves as Brahmanas, and they approached Jasanda. So this was the verse today. And the king Jasanda, they flattered Jasanda by appreciating his reputation as a charitable person. And Jasanda was very pleased by this, but he saw the marks on on the four of them. Then he understood they are warriors. So he was in a fearful state, but still he told that you have come for charity. Yeah, so I will fulfill your desire. Then Krishna disclosed himself that he is Krishna, that he wants to fight with him, and his Arjuna and Bhima. So Jasanda told that whereas Krishna, you ran from the battlefield, am not interested to fight with you. Whereas Arjuna, he's not in a proper, he's senior, he's junior to me. As Bhima is proper candidate to fight. So the fight was arranged. They went out of the city, and the fight went on for many days. So both were very strong. None of them could be defeated. Then Lord Krishna took a branch, a branch twig, and broke into two pieces, and indicated how to Bhima how Jasanta can be killed. So Bhima immediately, with his legs, made Jasanda fall and stripped him in two parts from his torso. From the In this way, Jasanda was killed, and all the wives of Jasanda, they cried. And thereafter, King Krishna uh, eh, then appointed Jasanda's son to become the ruler of Magda. So this is the overview of this chapter. Yudhishthira Maharaj was to perform a Rajya sacrifice, whereas he wanted to show the power of the devotees to the non-devotees, and power of devotional service who were not interested in devotional service. And you want to show the power of the devotees. It's the superiority of the devotees and inferiority of the non-devotees. And then Yudhishthira Maharaj want to perform a Rajasuya sacrifice. So in this first verse it says, King Yudhishthira sat in the royal assembly surrounded by eminent sages, Kshatriyas, and his brother's spiritual masters, and his blood relations and friends. And so Yudhishthira Maharaj, uh, he addressed Lord Krishna here. He said, O Govinda, I desire to worship your auspicious opulent expansion by the Rajya sacrifice, the king of the Vedic sun. Please make our endeavor a success. Actually, Yudhishthira Maharaj says, I worship your opulent expansions. First, he's addressing all the ministers, and then he's saying, I want to perform this Rajya, king of all sacrifice. I want to, here it says here in the purport, Krishna. For that here, Krishna's opulent experience with the world as demigods and other empowered beings. Srila Prabhupada treats this verse as follows in Krishna. My dear Lord Krishna, the sacrifice known as Rajasuya sacrifice is to be performed by the emperor if and is considered the king of all sacrifice. By performing this sacrifice, I wish to satisfy all the demigods who are your empowered representative within this material world, and that you will kindly help me in this great adventure. Actually, Yudhishthira Maharaj want to show the superiority of Lord Sri Krishna, but because the demigods they are empowered by Lord Krishna, so because those people who speak ill of Krishna, Yudhishthira Maharaj want to perform this Rajasuya sacrifice, and he want to show that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and all others are his servants. So the first verse is Yudhishthira Maharaj addressing the ministers and all the great personalities in the assembly. He is telling Krishna that he wants to perform a Rajasuya sacrifice. So in the assembly of these great sages and the Brahmanas, Yudhishthira Maharaj is saying. And the second version, saying he want to worship your opulent expansions by the so opulent expansion in the word Acharya says the demigods or the empowered persons to perform. Yeah. So in this he wants to show the superiority of Lord Krishna. Though he want to invite all the demigods and all the empowered emperors, but he want to show the superiority of Lord Krishna because this say he want to prove that Krishna is the supreme person of God at the second verse. And the third verse it says that purified persons who constantly serve, meditate upon you, glorify your shoes, which destroy everything inauspicious. So this devotees, those who are constantly serving and meditating upon the Lord, glorify the shoes, which destroy everything inauspicious. So devotional service is real auspicious, and to obtain freedom from material exile. O lotus, purified persons who constantly serve, meditate upon, and glorify your shoes, which destroy everything inauspicious. Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita also says, Esham to antagatam papam. Those who are free from sinful life, they can engage in devotional service with full determination, like that. The purified persons who constantly serve, meditate upon, and glorify your shoes. Purified persons who constantly serve, meditate upon, and glorify your shoes, which destroy everything inauspicious, are sure to obtain freedom from material existence. In other words, one has to surrender to Lord Sri Krishna. Unless one doesn't surrender to Krishna fully, he cannot become free from sinful reactions like that. Sarva dharman parityagya mam ekam chara. Says purified person who constantly serve, meditate upon, and glorify your shoes, which destroy everything inauspicious, are sure to obtain freedom from material existence. O lotus naveled one, even if they desire something in this world, they obtain, whereas others, those who do not take shelter of you, are never satisfied, O Lord. So, in whatever situation, one should take shelter of the Lord, either with desire or without non desire. The first is Yudhishthira Maharaj addressing Lord Krishna in the assembly of the great sages, saintly persons, all the ministers, family members. He wants to perform a Rajasuya sacrifice. In the second verse, he wants to show the expansion of the Lord. They are also servants of the Lord. Another word, everybody is a servant of the Lord. And then it says to meditating upon Lord, either they should take shelter of the Lord fully, like that, either this desire or not desire. Those are things. Prabhupada writes in this connection that liberated Krishna consciousness do not even desire to become freed from material connection or to enjoy material. Their desire fulfilled by Krishna conscious activities. Yudhishthira, we are fully surrendered to your lotus feet, and by your grace, we are so fortunate to see you personally. So they are all pure. Yudhishthira Maharaj, they were very exalted devotees like that. They were fully surrendered to Krishna, so they could see Krishna. Fortunate to that. Fully, we have no desire for material opulence. Actually, devotee does not desire any material opulence. It comes on its own. She uses in everything in Krishna's service. We can see in the life of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada built. He came with 40 rupees to US, but he's according to on his spiritual master instructions, and he succeeded to preach the message all over the world. And Krishna gave him, Krishna provided him with all the necessary requirement. Similarly, Yudhishthira Maharaj is performing Rajasuya sacrifice. He want to prove Krishna is the Supreme Personal Godhead and one should worship Supreme Personal Godhead and one should surrender fully to Him like that. Uh, and you want to show the people, those who are criticizing Krishna, the superiority of Lord Krishna, like and also you want to prove the power of the devotees and the inferiority of the non-devotees. So one should take Krishna consciousness, and then it can both materially and spiritually will be satisfied. Right. So the third verse, it was that fourth verse and fifth verse. Let the people in this world see the power of your devotional service rendered to your lotus feet. Please show them, O mighty, Almighty One, the position of those gurus and sages who worship you, and the position of those who do not. So here, the heart of a preacher said, the great devotee Yudhishthira Maharaj, Krishna to demonstrate, explain the result of worshipping and the result of not worshipping. If the people of the world could understand this, they could become to recognize that Krishna is the supreme personal Godhead, and everyone's ultimate self-interest lies in surrendering to Him. As is confirmed by great authorities, Yudhishthira Maharaj is a pure devotee of the Lord, and thus his actual motivation in discharging his duty as a king was to establish the supremacy of Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personal Godhead. This is the real purport of the activities of Pandavas. He says here, he says, let the people of the world see the power of devotional service rendered to your lotus feet. please show them, O Almighty One, the position of those gurus and sages who worship you, and the position of those who do not. So the position of people who don't worship and those who worship Krishna says the great devotee Yudhishthira Maharaj implores Lord Krishna demonstrate plainly the result of worshipping and the result of not worshipping. If the people of the world could understand this, they could begin to recognize Krishna is the supreme person God. Everyone's ultimate self-interest lying in surrendering to him. Na te vidusvarta gatim Vishnu. Uh, this is that's what it is. Not Deviduswat. Our self-interest is to please Lord Sri Krishna. And in the words, one should surrender to Krishna and offer all the results towards Krishna. Yat karoshi yat judu yat yat karoshi yat joshi dadashi krushu madarpanam. Whatever activities we perform for the satisfaction of Krishna. In other words, the teaching of Krishna is to engage in loving devotional service of Lord Krishna. One should aspire to develop love for Krishna instead of some temporary things. Then the sixth verse is within your mind can be no differentiation. This one is mine and that one is another because you're the supreme absolute soul, the soul of being, always equipoised. Enjoy transcendental happiness within yourself, just like the heavenly desire tree. Like the trees gives fruits to everyone. So similarly, the Lord as super soul is within everyone's heart. So it doesn't mean that Lord is partial to the non-devotees and partial to the devotees and not partial. Because the Lord as super soul is within everyone's heart, He fulfills their desire as they want like that. Here he says, you are, if one takes to Krishna conscious, his life becomes fully both materially and spiritually fulfilled. This does not mean that you are partial to the Krishna conscious person and indifferent to the non Krishna conscious. You are equal to everyone. That is your declaration. You cannot be partial to one and not interested in others because you are sitting in everyone's heart as the super soul and giving everyone the respective result of his fruitive activities. So, power of worshipping Lord Sri Krishna, accepting Krishna as the supreme personal Godhead, taking shelter of Lord, that's the highest benediction, and surrendering to Krishna, and Lord is within everyone's as the super soul. He's our real friend. He is not partial. He is equal to everybody. He says, "You are sitting in everyone's heart as a super soul and giving everyone the respect result of his good. You give every living entity the choice to enjoy this material world as he desires. He's giving a chance everybody to enjoy as he desires. As a super soul, you are sitting in the body along with the living entity, giving him the results of your own acts as well as opportunity to turn toward your devotional service. Krishna is giving a chance to develop. You openly declare that one should surrender unto you, giving up all engagement, and you will take charge of him, giving him relief from the reaction of sins. You are like the desire tree in the heavenly planets which awards benedictions according to one desire. Everyone is free to achieve the highest perfection. If one does not so desire, then you are avoiding of lesser but not due to passion. Everyone is free to achieve the highest perfection. But if one does not so desire, then your avoiding of lesser benediction is not due to partiality. Suppose somebody does not desire, that doesn't mean Lord is partial to somebody and partial to this. He is equal to everybody. He fulfills the desires. But somehow they will surrender to Krishna, then everything becomes so auspicious, everything beneficial. The Supreme Person God, your decision is perfect, and thus your noble fame will spread to all the world of Dharma. Lord Krishna here concurs with Yudhishthira Maharaj that the righteous sacrifice should perform. Lord further agrees that nothing unfair in the fact that one result is achieved by to worship him and other is those do not. The great Bhagavatam commenters found out that by addressing King Yudhishthira as Shatru Krishna, tormentor, Lord Krishna is imparting to him the potential to conquer all the enemy. King predict that King Yudhishthira's noble fame will spread to all the worlds and is packed in him. So by this performing this righteous sacrifice, this Maharaj fame is spread all over the world. And Indeed, by the great sages, forefathers, and demigods, our well-wishing friends, and all living beings, the performance of the king of the Vedic cycle is desirable. First, conquer all kings, bring earth under your control, and collect all the required paraphernalia, then execute this general sacrifice. These brothers of yours, O king, have taken birth as partial expansion of demigods. So this Bhima is the son of demigod Vayu, and Arjuna was born of Indra, and Yudhishthira was born of Yamraja. Then Nakul Sadhu is Ashwini Kumar. Okay. So here it says, Lord Krishna told King Yudha that he becomes conquered by the love of one who has conquered his senses. One who has not conquered his senses cannot conquer the Supreme Person of Godhead. So one who has conquered the senses, like we heard of Govinda, the servant of Mahaprabhu. He and Mahaprabhu was running. He heard Devidasi's voice, and he was learning towards that sound like that. It was a woman's voice. That doesn't mean everybody is proud, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in the position of a sannyasa, and he says Govinda. So everyone is respected. It's not means though in Vedic culture the women are given high respect like that. But here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a sannyasi. He's showing that how one should not in a spiritual life, he should not have intimate connection with women like that. That's not good for spiritual life like that in whether in brahmachari or is in vanaprastha, even in household there is grahastha and grahamedi. One should not become a grahamedi, one should become a grahastha. This is one has to control the senses here, it's important. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying his servant that you saved me from this my sannyas is like that, from falling from my this. So still the Prabhupada in this says Bhima was born of demigod. King Yudhishthira was born of demigod Yamraja. Srila Prabhupada you say Lord Krishna told King Yudhishthira that he becomes conquered by the love one who has conquered his senses. One who has not conquered his senses cannot conquer the Supreme Person of Godhead. This is the secret of devotional service. Hare Krishna. So when we read first book, we read Nectar of Instruction. The first verse says, Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Udarapasta Vegam, Etan Vegam Yo Vishati Dhiram Api Shishyam. So one who has controlled his senses, he can make disciples all over the world. The senses like the mind, there's a push of the mind, there's a push of tongue, push of belly, all they are in one line like that. One who says, yeah, similarly this verse, we recite these verses always, but we don't get to that meaning. Most of us, you can say, not all of us, we can say. But here it says, one who has conquered his senses. So it's very deep meaning. Vacho Vegam. One has to control his senses. One has to control his mind. Vacho Vegam, Manasa Vegam, Krodha Vegam. When he becomes angry, he becomes impure like that. Vacho Vegam, Krodha Vegam, Udhara Pasta Vegam. Yeah. And it's controlled this belly like that. So this tongue is the most voracious. Our hearing, our seeing like that. Tongue is the most voracious of that. How what we associate with like that. So one should eat. Krishna is bada Mahaprasade Govinde, Krishna bada dayamai, Kariba Jiva Jai, Swa Prasadana Dilmai. Krishna is given this Mahaprasad. So he says, they are born of demigods like Bhima is Vayu's son, Arjuna was Indra's son, and King Yudhishthira was Yamra's. Lord Krishna told Yudhishthira that he becomes conquered by the love of one who has conquered his senses. One who has not conquered his senses cannot conquer the Supreme Person of Godhead. Hare Krishna. So deep it is. This is the secret of devotional service. One who has conquered his senses, one who he is. So we can check it out like that. The senses and the mind. Mind is always with us. Like example is given. One who's controlled his mind, mind is the friend. Imagine this camera. The camera is there, but it has no life. It just captures pictures and everything. So imagine our mind also with us always. And imagine mind is just like a camera. It's just capturing pictures. So we can note down something with a note pen like that. Mind. Somebody will say, "I'm hungry. Oh, I should eat that particular thing. Oh, I ate too much. Now I have to fast. What to? Uh, if I had a money, I would be happy. Oh, she looks beautiful. Oh." So mind is saying so much things like that. Oh, one after another. But we are different from the mind. Mind is subtle like that. The example that I'm giving the example of camera. Like camera is noting down everything. It has no life, but it's just capturing the picture. The mind also is material. So here it says, so it's Arjuna also says, I can capture wind but cannot capture mind. But Krishna is saying, tell to is that Srila Prabhupada goes on to state, Lord Krishna told you that he becomes conquered by the love of one who has conquered his senses. One who has not conquered his senses cannot conquer the Supreme Person of Godhead. One who has not conquered his senses cannot conquer the Supreme Person of Godhead. This is the secret of devotional service. Hare Krishna. So nice. Yes, so no one in this world, even a demigod, what to speak of an earthly king, can defeat my devotee with his strength, beauty, fame, or riches. Lord Krishna assures King Yudhishthira that he'll have no problems conquering the worldly kings. Kings, the king is a pure devotee, and the Lord's purity cannot never be conquered even by the demigods. What to speak of earthly king? Although materialists are proud of this power, fame, beauty, and opulence, they can never surpass the pure duty of the Lord. Sukdev, upon hearing these words among my the King Yudhishthira became joyful and his face blossomed like a lotus. Thus he sent forth his brothers who were empowered with Lord Vishnu's potency and conquer all directions. So they were empowered by the Lord Vishnu. He sent Suk- Sahadev to the south with the Srinya, Nakula to west with the Matsya, Arjuna to the north with the Kekayas, and Bhima to the east with the Madaka. After defeating many kings with their prowess, this heroic brothers brought back abundant wealth for Yudhishthira Maharaj, who was intent to performing sacrifice. When King Yudhishthira heard that Jasina remained undefeated, he set to pondering, and then the primal Lord Hari told him the means with the word described for defeating Jasanta. So this was like that. So this is the overview of this chapter, 15th verse up to um, surrendering oneself fully to the Lord and taking shelter of the Lord, and the Lord is pure devotee is glorified. And King Yudhishthira won't perform the king of sacrifice. He want to prove the superiority of the Lord and the inferiority of the devotees and the inferiority of non-devotees. He want to perform this Rajasuya sacrifice. And those who find fault in like that, he want to prove the supreme person of God. Krishna is the supreme person of Godhead. So this was the overview of this chapter. So when Krishna is super soul within everyone's heart, and one has to control the senses, then he's conquered by devotion like that. Very wonderful. Let's go to this. So actually, the Brahmanas in this it's even here. The Brahmana can be pure, even though he's not a Brahmana, one chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Actually, they are being trained inside, their hearts are being purified by chanting. After some days, when the spiritual master sees that one has followed the regular principles faithfully and abstain himself from the restricted items like illicit life, extra has chanted regularly 16 rounds. After a year, when he appears to be purified in the judgment of spiritual master, he is offered a sacred that and given a chance to deity worship there. This uh, so everyone can be purified in coming in contact with Lord Vishnu, Prabha Vishnu, and that's can be purified by pure duty because of the Lord Vishnu is so strong. Coming in contact with a bona fide spiritual master follows the instructions very is given. So in this doesn't matter anybody can take whether it's a householder or a brahmachari or sannyasi, everyone can take to devotional service. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there's no restriction. Advaita Acharya was a householder, Nityanand he was a householder, Gadadhar he was a householder, Shivas he was a householder. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also married twice. So it doesn't matter. Narottam Thakur that to become in the not life, to remain the householder, that does not matter. If he actually takes part in the movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Kirtan activities, Actually, under what is he is taking the sports of such devotional service. Such person is always liberated. And Narottam Das Thakur is aspiring his association ever increasing. If he is actually taking part in the movement of Chaitanya Sankirtan activities, actually understanding what it is, he is taking sport in the waves of such devotional ocean, then such person is always liberated. And Narottam Das Thakur is aspiring his association ever increasingly. So this Sankirtan, anybody, when a householder also can perform Sankirtan and he can elevate himself. So there's no restrictions. Hare Krishna. So here it says, um, the Graha Medeshu. In household, another word is the a wife should not only be equal to her husband in age, character, and qualities, but must be helpful to him in his household duties. The household duty of a man is not to satisfy sense gratification, but to remain with a wife and children at the same time, attain advancement in spiritual life. One who does not do so is not a householder, but a Gramedi. Two words are used, Grahas and Gramedi. Difference between Gramedi and Grahastha is the Grahastha is also an ashram or spiritual art. But if one simply satisfies senses as a holder, then it's a Grahamedi. For Grahamedi to accept a wife means to satisfy sense. But for a Grahastha, a qualified wife is an assistant in every respect for advancement in spiritual activities. It says to accept a wife means to satisfy. But for a Grahastha, qualified wife is an assistant in every respect for advancement in spiritual activities. It is the duty of the wife to take charge of household affairs and not to compete with the husband. A wife is meant to help, but she cannot help her husband unless he is completely equal to her in age, character, and quality. So wife is an assistant. She helps. Qualified wives help her husband in advancement in spiritual activities. Uh, and she cannot. A wife is meant to help, but she cannot help husband unless he is completely equal in her age, character, and quality. That's also said here. So it's any comments, any question? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. No, your fame will spread all over by performing this Rajyasya sacrifice. In other words, glorified. You will be glorified by performing this Rajyasya sacrifice. His fame will spread all over. And everyone should aspire to help in this Rajyasya sacrifice. He's the king of all sacrifices. And King Yudhishthira Maharaj is. Yep, Yudhishthira Maharaj want to prove the power of devotional service. It's close, Prabhu. Yeah, they turn down this off. Yeah, charity, Hare Krishna. Yeah, Yudhishthira Maharaj want to perform this Rajasuya sacrifice. He want to prove the superiority of Supreme Personal Godhead. He want to show that demigods are power of the devotees and the power of devotional service and the power of the devotees and the inferiority of the non-devotees. So, so he was told to um, be first to prove as an emperor. He has to conquer all the kings from all directions and bring all the wealth required paraphernalia to perform this Rajasuya sacrifice. Hare Krishna. So nice. Very deep it is. Like control the senses, control the mind. Then the Lord is pleased. Hare Krishna. And this Lord is as a super soul always with us. So not to be fearful. We can pray to Him always. And He will fulfill our desires, what we want. He is not partial to anybody. Hare Krishna. Thank you for tolerating and patience. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhu. हरे कृष्णा। श्रीमद् भागवत पुराण की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।